Let the Bitcoin halving party begin. Hello Adrian and welcome back to my channel. It's 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8 and wishing you well and thank you for joining me once again to the next and the newest episode, the latest episode of the Dang Oracle. Well, it has been a couple of days that I have been away, but yes, I am back. And although my son is sleeping right now, I still have to do some work, of course, because daddy has to make some money. Thank you, here, Jews. And well, we haven't checked our COVID situation for a while, but first, ta-da, the countdown. We are almost there. Yes, the Bitcoin blockchain having the FOMO, the reason why everybody should be buying Bitcoin, and we are going to the moon. I'm just being ironic. That's not the case at all. But that's what all the FOMO is about. Bitcoin halving is upcoming very soon, and the price is going to go to $20,000 immediately afterwards. That's what everybody's thinking. But first, let's see how things are in the COVID situation. Yep, I haven't seen it for a while as well, so let's refresh. Wow, let's refresh and see what is going on. Hi Darren. Yes, I've missed you too. I've missed you too. Okay, let's see. The United States, we are currently at 1.3 million, still there. Spain, UK, Italy, Russia. Whoa, Russia already went over the 200k. Yes, Henry, that needs to make some money. Boom, boom, boom. And then, yeah, Russia joined the top 5 countries right now. Am I? That's new. That's very new. So let's see how it looks in the charts, right? Where is the coronavirus charts? Let's refresh that one. Oh, and here we are. We are over 4 million people. Wow, crazy. Yes, Darren. Mom is very tired, of course, because yeah, we're breastfeeding the baby, so she has been breastfeeding the baby, every 2-3 hours whenever the baby is awake. It's breastfeeding time. And yeah, my duty is to burp the baby. So every time she breastfeeds the baby, I'm the one who has to burp the baby, so I have to be awake as well. But luckily, I hired a private nurse. So the private nurse is basically helping us out. It's necessary also because, well, if I want to be doing some work or some trading, I can't be taking care of the baby all the time, right? And why are we making money? Well, it's obviously to make our life a little bit easier and more convenient. At least that's what I hope, why we are making money for. So yeah, we are over 4.1 million. Ooh. Yeah, and we still have not flattened the curve. That is obviously not a very good sign. The US has flattened. That's a good sign. It has flattened. Spain is still going up. Russia still going up. UK, I think UK is actually the biggest European problem right now. It just keeps going up. Italy and France is starting to slow down, but still the slope is it's still not flat. It's still not flat. That really worries me for not now, but whenever because a lot of countries are now starting to ease the lockdown or all this social distancing and stuff like that. I'm really afraid that there's going to be a second wave. That's what I think. And it's already actually happening in Korea. So we had Korea that was a very, very long time, very flat, very good health system. But they had, I think, 52 new cases today. So yeah, once again, it just starts again, right? So let's see this. Okay, let's close this one. Okay, so let's start first with some news for today. Boom, 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 boom. Where are we? Here. Okay, so the first big news is there's a large order before the halving from the Bitcoin company that is traded on the Nasdaq. Riot Blockchain is actually announcing that they have purchased a large amount of devices from Bitmain. So as you know, the S19 is going to be released, and yeah, they are ready for the Bitcoin halving, because you need to have big new machines to be able to mine profitable, right? So as you can see, they recorded the purchase and it was completed for $2.4 million for 1,000 devices for their mining company, and it's the Bitmain S19 model. However, the company only expects to receive the devices in early July. So yep, and they are operating in the US. So it's located in the Colorado. So actually, that's a very bullish, positive news, right? Still, companies are investing into mining. They are ready to pay the money to get the latest mining mining machines, and then continue mining Bitcoin. Next news: Bitcoin is price skyrockets in Venezuela and other oil exporting nations. Well, as you know, I told you this many times also already. Hyperinflation is causing for people to go into other currencies or store of values, right? Like gold and Bitcoin, of course, as well. And as you can see here, the recent meltdown in crude oil prices have been devastating on countries that are into oil, right? Like here, Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Venezuela. And as you can see, the volume on local Bitcoins have witnessed a huge spike, as you can see here on the charts. As you can see from local Bitcoins, the volume. So people that are in those countries, they are selling their currency into Bitcoins. Well, that is if you've seen one of my previous videos, very normal. It is the bad money that is being used, and the good money is being held. So that's the reason why people are fleeting and flowing and going into different currencies or store values, right? Hi Nathan, thank you for following, and welcome to the channel. Okay, then the next one, Iran is going to change its currency to the Toman. So their old currency is the Rial, and that's basically what happens when a currency is completely out of control. What the government is going to do is going to rebrand, right? It's like a rebranding of their own currency. So as you can see, the Iranian lawmakers voted on the 4th of May to approve amendment. And then what will happen is the Toman, the new currency, is going to be equal to 10,000 Rials. So yeah, one Toman is going to be 10,000 Rials, right? Because of the hyperinflation, the money becomes worthless. So what is their idea or their plan? They have to change their currency. And if hyperinflation is going to be happening to one of the major currencies, that's when we are going to see a major crash in our economy. Imagine that the US dollar is imploding. Yeah, they will have to do the same as what happened in the past, right? Back it to something else, for example, back it to gold, for example. And next up, yeah, this is a site. If you want to understand more about the correlation between social media and Bitcoin price, actually. And as you can see here, so you can see here when the Twitter volume was very high, actually price was very high as well. So that's pretty cool to see, right? I mean, when there is like a lot of hype, see, as you can see here, price actually goes up as well. So there's actually quite a lot of correlation between media. When people are talking bullish and talking a lot about Bitcoin, obviously it has a positive effect also on Bitcoin. And they are keeping a track of what they call a galaxy score. And the higher the score, the better, of course. So it's more like a sentiment on the market. So for people who are want to know more about the sentiment of a market, the market psychology, this is actually a really cool site to watch some data or some stats. It's called lunarcrush.com, and it's fully free. So once again, if you're interested in checking out some of that kind of data, definitely join in and check it out. And as you can see here, for the last Lunar Crush, yeah. So if you want to see the last 24 hours here, you can see here that we are currently at 74%, which is bullish. And as you can see here, the amount of social engagement, the amount of posts about about everything about Bitcoin, right? About cryptocurrency in general. See, it's really cool. Like amount of the data or tracking that we have now on the internet is just insane. But anyways, you can go to the extended charts, and then they actually use TradingView in combination with their stats or their data, and then you can see this as well. As you can see here, so we had the Lunar Galaxy score went down a little bit here, and actually it followed the trend of the price, as you can see as well. Pretty, I'm not saying like obviously, but it does have a nice correlation as well. And here you can see the social engagement, and as you can see here, we had a very high spike, meaning a very huge amount of social engagement, and then we actually topped out as well at around that 10K mark. And now the social engagement has been going down as well, meaning the price is also going down at this moment. But as you can see here, social volume when we had the major crash was also very high as here. So it's all about the sentiment of what is going on the price, and then how the social media is reacting upon it. But the only thing that we can clearly see is the more volume. As you can see here, the volume was very, very low on the news. Price is very low as well. But once we get like some higher price and we get more volume, it spreads the word, and then price actually goes up, right? And I think that's a little bit normal. But overall, as we can see, right now people are very bullish, right? And actually for a trader, the social aspect of it, when people are very bullish, what do you do as a trader? Most likely you will be selling. And when people are very bearish, you will be buying, of course. Thanks, Darway. Thanks for putting the link out there. Hi, Shamir. Konnichiwa as well. I'm not Japanese, but okay, I'll take it. Anyways, so we have a lot of backtracking because I was away for a couple of days. I don't know exactly how many days, but 5 days or something like that. Wait, 5 days? 5 or 6 days, something like that. Anyways, some people were curious about what if I was what I was saying was wrong or was anything like that. So let's backtrack a little bit, right? So don't look at that. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. So we were here, right? And then basically this triangle that we were forming, and I was telling you guys, like, there was a lot of probabilities that most likely we'll be ranging around here, and the probability was more higher that we would be going down to this green box right here, right? That's what I was saying. But I also said that if we manage to break up around out of that box, we should be looking at the higher green box, right? And the higher green box was actually here, right? Wait 1 second, let me double click here so it's bigger. So basically here is our triangle. Let me draw that triangle once again. Here's the triangle, and like I said, we could have even go down here to this box, or if it breaks out of this wedge, this triangle here, we should be looking up for the higher green box right there. And as you can see, price went exactly into that higher box. So for people who are saying like, hey, what were you saying? You were saying that it was going to go down. I said the probability that we were going to go down was higher, right? But I also said if we break out of that triangle, we should be looking at the higher green box. And what happened? Yes, exactly. We got into the higher green box. But then what did I tell you guys? I'm not really looking into a shorting position at that point because I already made my money last month, where I told you guys this was the money making, right? I told you guys when that HVP flashed the red background, I told you guys it's money time. That's when you have to go into the trade. And then afterwards, I told you guys I'm shorting from this position here, and then that's it. I was just going to, first of all, the baby was born, so I couldn't trade. And I was just going to wait it out. But what did I tell you guys as well afterwards is that I'm looking for a long position, not a short position, a long position. And where was I looking for that long position? Well, exactly that green box in the bottom, right? That green box, where was that? That was the EMA. I told you guys the EMA 200 or the moving average 200. And what did the price do? As you can see here, it went into my green box. So that was the trade, and that's the trade to be made. That I told you guys for this month, that was the money trade to be making. Like buy the bounce, buy the dip on when it would be going back down to the daily 200 or this green box here, the daily 200 moving average. And that's the long that you have to take right there, because I told you guys, if we are going up here, if we break through all this resistance, then that resistance will turn into support. It took a really hard long time for us to break this resistance, meaning that whenever we are going back down, does that mean that we're not going to break that support level, which it's support right now? No, of course not. It means that on the first try, most likely the probabilities will be very high and a very good spot to be longing. And that's basically where we are at right now. Where do I expect this to be going up? Well, the first spot would be here, where we have our potential cross on the 4 hour. So that is around the 9.1k line, 9,050 to 9.1. So that's where I most likely will be closing my long position, because, well, although there is chance that we go a little bit higher, that's basically the risk that I am taking for now, because you have to understand there's a lot of volatility is going to go on. And after, usually what happens is, you know the saying, buy the rumors and sell the news. So when the Bitcoin halving actually happens, I do expect some of the miners to be dumping their Bitcoin because they are not they don't make enough money anymore after the halving. So I do expect us to be retracing somewhere after the halving a little bit more. But for now, the hype is still ongoing, right? Everybody is still very excited. So I do expect us with the price to be going up a little bit higher to around this area right here. If we are very lucky, we'll be moving back to the green box up there. So that's basically what I'm expecting in the short term. So somewhere around here in the middle, or if we are very lucky, all the way up back into the 9.3k or the upper high box once again, right? Because we have been then testing 1, 2, breaking through, breaking back down, and maybe we'll give it another touch one more time. But the most important area is, of course, this area here on the bottom, right? As you can see here, the amount of confluency, the amount of lines is just insane there. So once again, it is very important that the price stays. Yes. Yes, Alex. The sucker will crash like a mirror. Well, I don't think the crash will be that fast. To be honest, I do think we will have a pullback, but I don't think the crash, the major crash that happened was this one, right? This one where we pulled back into my green box here. I think that was the major pullback. I think actually for the next couple of days until the end of the week, we'll actually have a slow push down once we hit this level around here. I mean, if we get that high, right? But most likely we will. I mean, it looks really good. So I still expect us to just bounce from box to box right here, and then from this spot here, so something like this, we'll most likely be retesting this one, and then most likely we'll go back one more time, go back down to around this this green box once again. Do we break it? That'll be important. Juice. So trading now is still advisable? No. So what you always want to do is, right, make a plan where you have your supports and where you have your resistance line. So as you can see right now, price is in between my two boxes, right? It's literally in between my two boxes. So yeah, for me, of course, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not a financial advice, but for me as a trader, I will always try to not be in a position where because let's say it goes here, and like I said, it goes to 9.1 and it gets rejected, then you can be stuck in your position because you thought it would go over here. If it gets rejected here for a little bit, and then you think I'm gonna short this, well, it can still make this kind of move and then you're screwed as well, right? So what I do advise is try to make a plan before things are happening, right? So when I told you in the last couple of in the last video that I've made, I'm actually just waiting to this green box here, and that's what I said, right? I said I'm waiting for the price to be here, and that will be a great long opportunity. So that was my plan. If the price never would have gotten there, fine, you know, I'm not losing anything. I'm not in a position, so I cannot lose money. I can also, of course, cannot make money, but I cannot lose money, which is very, very important. But you just have to be patient, right? So now what are the things that we can do, right? So we are in this position. We can just wait until it touches this box here and see what price does, right? Because it's quite easy to be seeing if we start once again, if we start forming some pattern and we break through that box, the natural thing is, oh, we're just gonna go up more to the next box, right? So one thing that you have to understand is you cannot control the market, you cannot control the price. What the only thing that you can use as an edge, as a TA analyst, is just use the support and the resistance lines, and then use risk management to take profits in between, right? So it's very, very let's go back into our macro vision, right? So let's go into the weekly close, right? So this is the weekly close. I've told you guys, most likely we will get rejected, and yeah, you can see here a very long wick, but this is not a death sentence. This is a doji, but this is not a death sentence. We still closed above all major moving averages, right? As you can clearly see, the most important thing is if the weekly would close below this green box here, then I will be bearish once again, because most likely what will happen is we will go at least to around this area here if we are gonna close below this green box. So once again, another position for me would be to be shorting that spot. So if we start closing below this yellow line here, below this weekly 21 moving average, if we start closing below that area there, then it's for me, I'll just switch it into a shorting position, right? But for now, there's no reason to be bearish at all, because once again, we are still trending above all major moving average. Do I think that we will immediately break throughout like this? It's possible, but quite unlikely. Hi Kvung Kunta, thank you for following, and welcome to the channel, as well as Zakaria, welcome to the channel as well. So do I think that we will immediately go up and break this resistance line? Well, no, I don't think that will happen. But is there a possibility that we'll be breaking it? Yes, of course, there's a possibility. So what would be the bullish scenario? Okay, let's talk about the bullish scenario. This bullish scenario would be that we are holding something like this, and we are going to be forming some sort of like a falling, like a bull flag, right? A falling bull flag, as long as we respect this yellow line, right? That's something that we want to see. And then we spike up and we break above this resistance line. That's basically the bullish scenario. Yes, Jun, I hope we get to 20k again, but I sincerely doubted that it will be for this year. So I think we will have more chance to be breaking the 20 or reaching 20k next year. That could be the very bullish scenario, but I don't think it will happen this year. Do we have a chance to be going towards like 14,000 or something like that? Yes, we do, because like I said, this is a falling wedge, right? So if we make a measured move from this line here, just this triangle here, if we make a measured move and we break up from here, for example, as you can see here, we are going to target around $14,000, right? It would be $14,000. This would be our green box, right? Targeting $14,000 if we break out of this triangle channel. Let's put it like that. So if we break out of this channel, definitely longing and expecting us to go, yeah, like I said, 13,500, 14,000, yeah, very high numbers. No, that's not for tomorrow, I'm afraid. I don't think that it will be for tomorrow. So the more so if we get that scenario that I'm saying, like I said, this is what we should be seeing, right? So we should be seeing something like this. Price is gonna go something like this, and then we spike up over the next couple of weeks, months, something like that. So that would be the bullish scenario. What would be the more bearish scenario? Well, the more bearish scenario is, of course, what will happen is we'll go somewhere here first, then we get another rejection, right? So we already got rejected once, twice, 3, 4, and this would be our 5th rejection. And what will happen if we get a 5th rejection? Most likely we'll be going here, then most likely make a fake dead cat bounce, something like that, and then go down here. So then we are looking at around $6,000, something like that. Is that dramatic? I don't think it's that dramatic as well, right? So that's not that dramatic as well. The more dramatic is if we start closing below the weekly 200 moving average. So this is the orange line that is going to go here, right? And the purple line is going to go here. If we break below that, that's when things become way more dramatic, because what will happen then, of course, is we'll break lower, and then we're gonna see, like, you know, $4,000 prices or something like that. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. So, but that's all very macro, very long term. For now, as long as, like I said, as long as the price is the weekly is above the yellow line, the EMA 21, there's nothing to be bearish about. Like, I see a lot of people who are starting saying like, oh, this is gonna crash immensely after. I don't think that is going to happen, actually. Like, I really don't think that it is going to happen. If we look at the monthly, as you can see here, we are still supporting way above the yellow line, and also above the blue line here. That's the 10 moving average. That's the 10 moving average. And as long as we do that, if we keep closing above the 10 moving average for this month, things are perfectly fine, right? Things are perfectly fine. But yeah, we have to be a little bit careful for the upcoming few periods, right? So let's take a look at the expected moves. So the expected moves is, as you can see here, quite sideways. First standard deviation on the upside is 9,216. 9,216 is basically what I've told you guys. The box, right? The green box around here. The green box, right? So That makes total sense. And the bottom of the first standard deviation is 8,650. 8,650. That would be this box here, this green box here. So does that mean that the price is going to be moving a lot? Maybe. I mean, depends on what you call a lot, right? So basically, something like this is what the expected moves calculations is saying, telling us. So let's see if the slope is a little bit on the higher end. So it has more probability, is saying that it has a little bit of higher probability going towards the upper side. Well, let's look at the historical volatility percentile. As you can see, it already is orange. It's still expanding, meaning there's still some power, right? So we started this move, this contraction here, and then what happened here is we broke out with this flashing background, as like I said, and then we have been expanding, as you can see here, and it will turn into reddish, something like that, very soon, and that means that we will be reaching more or less the end of our trend. But on the macro level, as you can see here, stocks are definitely down. So the momentum is definitely on the downside. Also here, our CMI is saying that, you know, things are in a retraction. Hi Carl, thank you for following, and welcome to the channel as well. So this is on the more long term. Let's take a look at the daily chart, if we can see anything different. Daily chart, nothing that special, still holding. Okay, here, as you can see here, flashing green background, like I explained to you guys before. It means that, you know, we are reaching some sort of a local top or something like that. HVP is flashing yellow on the daily as well. So yeah, it means that on the daily and the macro level, it means that we are in a momentum downwards. But if we look at the more shorter time frames on the 4-hour, we can clearly see that the momentum is up, right? You can see here stocks are curling up. What else? So stocks are curling up. Here MACD is starting to curl up as well. Yeah, can I see something else? CCI, the CCI is starting to make, not yet, it's not above the EMA just yet, but it's getting near there. RSI is finally back above the EMA once again, as you can see here. So short term, like I said, short term bullish, right? So I still think we still have power to go up a little bit more. Like I said, how much do we go? Well, my first target would be around here. 9,100 ish, something like that. 9,000 was that 9,070 is the EMA 21 on the 4-hour chart. So that's where I would be thinking that we'll be reaching. If we get lucky, we even go a little bit higher to around here, the 9,300 level. Do I expect us to be retracing from there? Yeah, most likely, right? So if you understand what I'm saying, that's most likely what is going to happen. We will most likely get some form of retracement. We will get also more clarity when the traditional markets open, of course. So let's take a quick look at the S&P. S&P is currently rejected at the EMA 200 one more time, once again on the daily. So let's see how much we get. Well, this looks like it's starting to look like a double top type of formation, but yeah, let's see if we how far we drop from here. But still, it doesn't look bad at all. It still looks okay. The only thing that is very worrisome for me is this the volume. As you can see, volume has been dropping while price is going up. That's not very bullish. So that looks to me like a troublesome something. So let's take a look at maybe a shorter term. It's now currently bouncing on the EMA 21. Most likely it's going to be dropping a little bit more. I think it's gonna go to like this one on the green line here, maybe even lower, 8 over the next couple of days, most likely. That's most likely. Okay, so stock market seems to be in a momentum that is going to be pulling down, so I do expect us for Bitcoin to do the same. Below the below the EMA. Let's see on the daily if it's already below. No, it's not below yet, so no confirmation just yet on that area. Let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX made a small bounce on the 4. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour still looks going down, so VIX still going down. As long you do have to be seeing this pattern though, so we have sort of like a falling wedge, right? Something like that. So I do expect us, once we reach our formation, to be spiking upwards. Well, let's make a measured move for you, right? Make a measured move, spiking up somewhere around here. Yeah, so I do expect the VIX to be spiking up quite substantially. So for me that means that most likely we'll have another quite substantial drop on the S&P in the future. Is it going to be right away? Well, not really, right? Let's make it a line chart so we can make the lines a little bit nicer, can we? Dun, 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 dun. There. Oh, pretty. So pretty. There. So yeah. I do expect the VIX to be bouncing up very soon. That means most likely we will have a correction also on the S&P. So if the S&P is going to be correcting, Bitcoin is going to be correcting as well. And it seems to me that it's most likely going to be we're looking at quite a major amount of correction. So yeah, Bitcoin is probably gonna go down as well. Hi Michael, what periods do you have to set your have you set on your EMA? So there's actually only 5 EMAs that I'm using on a very regular basis. I'll show it to you. 1 second. So I have the yellow line, that's the EMA 21, because yellow is my favorite color. So I use the EMA 21 the most. Then I have green for EMA 55, and then I have the EMA 100, the EMA 200, and then they have the moving average 30 and the moving average 200. That's basically it. And I use all of those the same for all time frames, right? So as you can see here, we're still holding our green box. We're, like I said, very a lot of money to be made. Is Bitcoin going to rise this week? Today, it's going to rise today. This over here, yeah, most likely it's going to rise today. I'm not sure about tomorrow. Most likely it's going to make some correction tomorrow after the so-called party. But there is one thing that we have to be taking notice of, and that is the bearish divergence, right? Okay, let me show you some bearish divergence. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, wait. I wanted to show you guys also this. So on the 2-day, we do have a bullish cross right now between the EMA 55, the green line, and the purple line, right? Let me remove all of those other ones, and then you can clearly see it better, right? So I'm talking about these 2 lines here. And yeah, I've told you guys many times, this is actually very important. Whenever we see a bearish cross, usually that means a long period of downtrend. Of course, we had the opposite here, so that was invalidated. But yeah, we can do the same theory, right? So we have a bullish cross here. So most likely what usually happens is we somewhere down the road we retest one of those lines. So I do believe that over the next week or something like that, we will most likely be going slowly and we'll be touching somewhere around there. So for people who are saying like, oh, did I miss my opportunity to buy around the 8K line? Well, most likely no. I do think that we most likely will be going to like 7.8, 7.9, where the EMA lines are at over the next couple of weeks. I think at least, at minimum, we'll pull back there. But the problem will be if we are going to pull back more than that, then it will be a big problem, of course. But anyways, what I wanted to show you guys is, of course, the bearish divergence, right? So let's take the line chart here. So the bearish divergence is right around, where is it? Let's see it. I'll put it on the daily chart. It's easier to see. So here we can clearly see here the price went here, down here, and the RSI went here from that point here up here. As you can see, well, just maybe make it like this. So as you can see here, bearish divergence, right? So let's take our cheat sheet. So for people, let's see. As you can see here, so the price made a lower high, and the RSI went made a higher high. Okay. Lower high, high. So hidden bearish divergence. So this is quite a substantial amount of time, as you can see, right? So it's over this whole block here, this hidden bearish divergence. Is this drop? Was this the drop that fully completed the bearish divergence? Well, time will tell, right? But I don't think it did. So I do believe that we still have a little bit more of a pullback. Yeah, I do believe we still have a little bit more of a pullback before we get there. I don't think but I'm not that bearish or anything like that. I don't think that we're gonna have like some major crash or something like that. At least I hope so. You never know with Bitcoin, right? But what I do believe is we most likely will get another bounce if we reach this target. That's what I believe. If we reach this target, because there's so much, as you can see, so much support right now there. I don't think we'll immediately crash and burn and break down from it. So if we bounce from there once again, that's actually quite positive, right? We can easily do something like this, and then try to break that resistance line once and for all. And where are we at? Oh, we made a little push. As you can see, we are at how much are we at? Let me see, 9,028. See, and we while I was talking, we actually almost touched the green line, which is our first resistance line, like I said. So yeah. Oh yeah. So this green box here, of course, it was like a zone of like $100 or something like that, right? So it actually touched the EMA 200 on the 4-hour chart as well. So that's where we bounced. And why was I still bullish and still holding even though price went down here? Because actually we were just making this formation right here, like higher low. So nothing to be concerned about with my long. And like I said, this is where I will take my profits and call it a day. Well, call it a couple of days. And that was the major trades to be done so far for this month, at least for the start of the month for myself personally. Like I said, when am I interested once again to be doing anything? First of all, that would be on this area here, this green box here. Once again, this 9,340-ish or something like that. I'll be interested in seeing what happens there. Like I said, I think for me personally, I think it's a shorting position, because I do think that we will have some sort of a pullback if we get there. But if we don't get there, I'm not really concerned. I do believe that price will be pulled back once again here to this green box down here over the next couple of days, weeks, something like that, and then we will see. Hi Nick. Yes, Nikolai. Yeah. The gap usually always gets filled. Yes, that's true. But there is no time limit on it, right? So there are still 2 gaps that never got filled. So yeah, it can take forever, right? Let's take a look at the gaps that we can see, right? Maybe let's take a new chart so that it's clearer to see, right? Can I put this into dark? Is there a dark here? No, there's not. Okay, sorry, there's no dark. But what I wanted to show you guys is the gaps, right? So if we see on the daily chart, we can see that there is a small gap here on the 11,000-ish level here. Can you see it? Yes, yes, yes. Very good. And I'll put this axis on the left side so you can see it. So here we have a gap here. We have a gap here on the CME chart. No worries, Anipse. No worry. We were all beginners at one point. Keep working at it, and you will understand a lot more in the future. After a while, you get used to it. Just don't give up. So here we have one gap here, as you can see, between 11.6 to 11.8 on the CME chart, right? On the CME chart, we're not talking about. There's always a premium on the CME chart because, of course, they are taking monies, right, from people who are investing. And here we are here at my my expected first resistance line. Oh, it's very, very nice, and still bullish, right? Still bullish. Let's see our momentum quickly. HVP is red now. We still have, yes, momentum going up. Let's see our RSI. Yep, curling up. When does it flip? Let's see, 9,600. I doubt it that we'll get that high. So yeah, as you can see, touch the green line and starting to get rejected. Come on, you can do it. Yellow line, please. Yellow line. Give me some more money. We might get there. 9,050. We're almost there. Almost there for today. Feels so good to be back. Always good to be back and to know that you made money, right? Anyways, while that's doing, I'll go back to my gaps. So we have here our gap that never got filled, as you can see, at 11,600 to 11,800. That's one of the reasons why I actually expected, when we had this pump here to 10,500, that we actually would be pumping a little bit higher and then have our major crash. But that obviously didn't happen. So this gap is still not filled since what is it, 9th of August 2019. So yeah, do I expect that gap to be filled? Well, yeah, if you are bullish about Bitcoin, you should expect it to be filled at one point, right? But other than that, there is another gap. Yes, there is another gap. That is not going to be pretty for the for the people who are less bullish. So there is another gap, and there's a gap right here. This is a very small gap, actually. No, that's not the gap. Where is the gap? Where's that gap? It's like, wait. No, that's not the one. Where is it? Let's see. It was like 3,500-ish, something like that. I remember when I was looking it up. Here, this is the one. This is the one. like an insanely small gap though. Yeah, that's the one. That's the gap. Oh. God damn it, missed it. So that's the gap. Yeah, so that's a gap around 3,500. Yeah, 3,500-ish, something like that, on the 18th of February. So those are the two gaps that are still existing, right? So those are the only two gaps. And we formed a new gap here. This is a new gap that we formed, and that was actually from this weekend, right? So those are the three existing gaps that we can see, right? So eventually, I guess it will be so the math is 95% of the gaps gets filled. No, like 90%. Sorry, 90% of the gaps get filled within the next within the first 2 weeks. So the probability that a gap gets filled is actually very, very high. But like I said, sometimes it takes forever, right? Sometimes it just takes forever. But you're right. You should be always checking the CME chart. I wouldn't necessarily, go for gaps and gap theory, and the only thing I would be looking for at gaps would be like, okay, some price information. Like if I'm targeting a long and I see a gap there, that could be potentially a spot that I would be, taking, be more interested in. Let's put it like that. But I'm not really going to specifically trade that specific gap. What I do trade is, of course, and I take a lot of importance is the CME chart. That's super, super important. The CME chart is way more important than the spot price chart, to be honest, for me. Anyways, so something that I've told you guys before was to look on the CME chart, but on the weekly. And I've told you guys what you should be looking at is when this formation here, that's what I told you guys, breaks up. Most likely we will be getting towards the 10.5k line on the CME chart. And as you can see here, when we broke up here at this point on the 4th of May, let's take a look at the price on the 4th of May, right? Around, what's that? 4th of May, something like that. Here, we went to, well, not necessarily at 10.5k, but 10.2k, right? Yeah, give or take, pretty accurate, right? So I told you guys, take a look at that RSI. If we do break out of that falling falling wedge, I'm looking for a very over 10k price, and that's basically what happened. But if you make another trend line here, as you can see here, that the one that I've created, we are actually getting rejected here and coming back into that falling wedge. So what can happen is, of course, we come here, we bounce on this EMA, and we do something like this. That would be extremely bullish, right? So that's also one of the reasons why I do believe that over the next week or something like that, we will slowly lose our momentum and slowly go down in price as well. So that's one of my other reasoning why I do believe that a pullback is quite imminent, but not right now, of course. Oh, we are there. We're there at my yellow line. So should be taking some profits in a moment. Second. Okay, so yeah, I see that already 25% of my position was already closed. Had amazing long position from there. So yeah, so yeah, this looks really good. It looks really good. Actually, this looks really good to go to 9.3k. Let's see what the expected move charts right now is. 9,366, and bottom is 8.8. Yeah, looks very, very good. Yeah, Nope. We got there. The money has been made. Yes. Yes, I can feed the baby. I can feed the baby. And as you can see here, we touched the yellow line here. Let's see if we get a rejection. I actually don't think we will get a rejection at all. I think we're gonna have like something like this, and then we most likely go into the big green box. So it will be very interesting to see if we get rejected from there. Okay. Yes, Henry. Do note that it doesn't always work out like that, right? Yeah, but yeah, obviously you have to be very very patient, and obviously it works. It works out more times than less times. Let's put it like that, right? Okay, so we went through Bitcoin. We did a little bit of S&P, and you shouldn't have done that, Nikolai. You shouldn't have done that. But okay, you made money. We're all happy. We're all happy. Yes. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not bearish at all in the short term. I'm probably gonna see a pullback tomorrow though. Like let's see, but actually let's see what happens in 1 hour when the stock market's open, right? When the stock market's open, I want to see what the S&P does. Right now we can see that it's being pushed down below the yellow EMA 21. So yeah, most likely. You're welcome, Lex. You're welcome. Thank you. So yeah, let's see what happens there. Boom boom. What am I seeing? Yeah, most likely this looks continuation. So I think we're gonna hit this green box here, and let's see what price does after hitting this green box, because that's going to be more resistance than anything. And yes, oh, and there, yeah. My position is fully closed, so although I'll be losing out some money, you cannot be greedy. You have to follow your position or your analysis, and that's how you have an edge, right? So people are most likely saying like, hey, you closed it too short, too early, you should take more profits. I'm not a high risk taker. So I'm okay with that. I made a nice from 8.1k ish. I think it was like 8150 or something like that my entry was, close to $1,000 spread. I don't think you can get a lot better than that. So I cannot be unhappy about that, like I said. But yeah, this looks like we're gonna be touching this green box here at the 9.3k levels, and then we'll be reanalyzing things from there, and see. Let me see where we are at here on our RSI. Yeah, definitely still have some space. Yes, definitely still some space there. Yep. See here, yeah, it's getting to the very high levels here already, right? So it's going to start to waver pretty soon, I think. But yeah, I still expect 9.250 to 9.350, 9.4 area, something like that, right? So that green box here is still what I'm expecting. So let's see if we get there. What did I wanted to tell? Oh yeah, one more thing. This is actually quite interesting. So the Dow Jones. For people who haven't seen my analysis on the Dow Jones, something that is very interesting is, of course, the correlation between the Great Depression and what is happening right now. So if you go to my video section and watch the Great Depression Part 2 video, it's going to be it's a very interesting analysis on the Dow Jones as well. So if you're interested in that, definitely take a look. Yeah, Yes, Nikolai, you can see it's starting to waver, like I said, already at that point, right? And it went to 9163. That's pretty good already. But this is what I found on the Dow Jones. Boom. Let's go first to the market cycle psychology, right? So this is the Wall Street cheat sheet. This is how a rally always goes, right? So we have this belief, we have hope, we have optimism, we have belief, we have thrill, we have euphoria, and then it's crashing down, complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger, depression, accumulation, right? Depression, and then disbelief, and then the cycle completes again. I mean, it happens again, right? We have hope, optimism, and then if we put this chart on top of the Dow Jones, as you can see here, so this is our disbelief, this is our hope, this is our optimism, this is our belief, thrill, this is our euphoria. And the question is this now our complacency level? Because if that is our complacency level that we are at, once again, let me move it back in. If we are at this complacency level here, then we still have anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, and anger, right? So if that would be the case, that would be very bad. And something that I noticed is this. And that's very, very bad. We have a bearish cross on the Dow Jones on the 2-day chart. And that's a death cross because it's the moving average, right? It's the 50 moving average and the 200 moving average. So for people who don't know, I used the 55 on the cryptocurrency market because you should be back testing that yourself. It just, for crypto markets, it just works better. It's just more accurate. For stock market, I'm using 50 and 200. Very, very classic. That's very classic standard death cross. And because it just works better on the stock market. And this is what you're seeing right now. We have a death cross on the 2-day chart on the Dow Jones. So and this, this cycle is correct as right now as well, right? So if we get rejected here, and if we get into the complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, and capitulation mode, that means that we will be going all the way back to our median line, right? Somewhere here. And that's a very big crash. So if that happens, then of course Bitcoin will do the same, right? And then we will be talking about $3,000 or something like that Bitcoin. Am I completely, if you are completely bear, then we can talk about like 1,750 or something like that for Bitcoin, 1,800, something like that. Some people will be saying, yes, I can finally buy some very cheap Bitcoins, but when it actually happens, you probably will be feeling too scared to be buying Bitcoin. So that's what I'm thinking. Because that's what I'm hearing all the time as well from people, right? When it's like $10,000, they're like, oh, I wish I bought it at 5,000. And when it goes to 3,000 in 2000, what was it, in 2018, people were saying like, yeah, this is going to go to zero, no, this is it's never going to be good anymore, it's doomed, it's crashed, it's going to zero. So what I'm trying to say is like, never overreact or think too bearish, and never think too bullish as well. For now, this is what I wanted to show you guys. This looks really, really bad. If this happens, this death cross on the 2-day chart, this market cycle psychology that is currently shown on the chart for the Dow Jones. The question is it going to be playing out? Right now, we cannot say that things are looking bearish, right? If you look at the charts, if you look at the charts, we are still, look at this, we are still way above all major moving averages, right? All moving averages. So there's no reason to be bearish at all. But like I said, we have to be keeping things in perspective and keeping things into mind. And let's see if we do start crashing down. We have to make our adjustments in our trade, right? So here we are. We got our first little rejection at the yellow line, as you can see here. Now my profit taking didn't worked out pretty well, huh? I'm just kidding. We still have plenty of time to be going up towards our green box, anyways. So yeah, I think it's we are over one hour right now, so my voice gets raspy. We went through quite a lot of things today, right? So I hope everybody made a lot of money. I hope everybody is happy. I'm still bullish right now, short term. In conclusion, I do think that over the week we will have a pullback, most likely back into this green box here. Am I very bearish, and do I think that we will be crashing? No, not really. I think it's going to be a slow drop. What I'm looking for is, like I said, do we form this type of pattern here, like slowly and then to the moon? Then I'll definitely have to buy, right? Oh god. And we got some spam. Sorry for the spam. I'll ban him in a moment. I hate people like that who are just spamming. So yeah. Please don't click on that guy's link. Okay, it's most likely some scam or some things that is bad. So in short, once again, short term, very short term, not bearish at all, right? I'm still bullish. We still have some space. Let's look at 9.3, 9.4K, this green box right here. What will happen there? Do we see continuation? Then I'm looking at the price here immediately. Next green box, back to our near our 10K line. Do I expect us to be breaking up immediately from there? No, I don't think so. So I'm looking to short this area. If it goes back higher, I'm looking to short this area once again. Do I think high probability that we're gonna get there? No. Highest probability will be this green box here. Where I'm going to be closing my shorts? Well, most likely we'll be looking at a retracement all the way down back into our green box once again right here. As simple as that. So are we going to be seeing some crazy stuff over the next couple of days? Well, I don't really think so. I think it's going to be actually a very slow and sideways movement. Things are not going to be that exciting. The reason why is because our HVP here is orange, right? This is orange. We have to wait until it's expanding again. Once it expands, then it will slowly contract, and then we are going to make big money or big moves once again. That's basically how we are going to trade this. Yes, perfectly, right? Yes, Kunta. I'm actually live normally. I'm actually live every day, 7:30 p.m. UTC +8. Please, if you click follow, Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching, Facebook or YouTube is going to give you a sign, right? Giving you a sign that what will happen. So yeah, I think that's it for today, right? Yeah. So yeah, once again, let's look for more continuation. Let's see what happens in about 1 hour when the New York Stock Exchange opens up, and then take it from there. But yeah, I do think that we're in for a pullback once the halving is over, and then over the next couple of days. We're most likely going to be a retracement. Why? Like I said, all the momentum indicators are starting once again, showing that we have a momentum on the higher time frames on the downturn, right? So I hope to see you guys. Please, please subscribe, like, share, follow this channel on Facebook or on YouTube, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow once again, 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8. No pullback. Yes, Peter, no pullback. We're going to 20,000 immediately. That's how we are going to roll. Yes, 20,000 Bitcoin tomorrow, right? Let's hope so. I really do hope so. I'll just be buying Bitcoin then if that would be the case. But anyways, it was a pleasure once again to be back and to be spending some time with you guys all again. Please do leave comments, notes, questions, whatever, and I'll take care of it. Well, I'll try to take care of it, right? Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Until then, please stay home, stay safe,